think we've gone back to our more sort of simplistic ways. I think we've gone a bit more electronic. And I think in making this album, we sort of looked back to our first 4 albums, really, and how we did those. When we first started out, we didn't have any rules. We had no musical training. So we were kind of making it up as we went along. And I think the way we put our songs together in the first 4 albums was really unusual. The arrangements and the way we organized the instruments, and a lot of the choruses were not sung choruses, they were melody choruses. So we decided to return to those kind of things, really. You know, a lot more synth melodies, more electronic, more simple.
You were so divine. You would do just anything to still be mine.
I think that the thing that we've always done is we write songs based on ideas and sounds. We don't sit down with a piano or a guitar and write a song with chords and a structure. It's always actually been an experiment, a voyage of discovery. Now, we don't leave the songs just always sounding like experiments. We work them, and then we add melodies and vocals. And so people think of us as a pop group, but actually we start very experimentally. We never wanted to be a pop group. We're totally accidentally a pop group. We actually started out as teenagers with a sort of art project, a crazy hobby of just writing interesting music, and nobody was more surprised than us when we actually sold millions of records. So that is the ethos, that is the concept which we've tried to really get back to on this album.
And going back to the question about the production, you know, a lot of the new synth bands now, they're using all the technology that we used to use, you know, 30 years ago. Whereas we've abandoned all that technology. We don't use those old analog synths anymore. We use all the modern virtual synthesizers, all in computers.
Wasted electricity.
We started out with very simple songs, mainly because we had no equipment. I mean, some of the stuff we used, Paul had to make because we didn't actually have any money, so we just made things that made electronic noises. And so the first album was really almost like kind of garage synth punk, very simple, very minimal. The next one got a little bit more kind of gothic and dark, although it did have Enola Gay on it, which of course was a massive hit. And again, it goes back to our mentality of always trying to experiment and do something different.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So the third album, we changed again. We wanted to do something different. And actually, Architecture and Morality, the basic sound concept is actually religious choral music and military drums. If you think of, you know, Joan of Arc and some of the other songs on the album, it's actually quite organic. People think of it as an electronic album, but it's got choirs and mellotron strings and real drums on it. It's just that the arrangements and the subjects were very strange.
And the way we put those sounds together, was unusual.
And I think actually because it didn't actually sound like anything else in 1981.
Yeah.
So now it still sounds different.
I think the technology now enables people with not very many ideas to make quite a nice sounding record. But it really, it could sound great and sound, you know, technically proficient, but there's no idea in there. Whereas when we first started out, you had to write a good song.
Music is a personal expression. It should be an idea, a feeling, somebody's personal concept. It's always been the same though. There's always been many musicians who are just followers. There's only a few creators and innovators, and we are egotistical enough to think that we created and innovated.
Everything you say, everything you do, all the things you own, all the things you knew.
Hi, I'm Andy,
And I'm Paul, and we're from OMD.
and you are watching WARP TV.